There's a time and a place for filet of fish. But breakfast is for sausage biscuits. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers comprehensive auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus, benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim through the repair process to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Visit EnduranceWarranty.com for your fast free quote today. That's EnduranceWarranty.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If you're driving a car or truck with an expired warranty and suddenly lost your transmission or needed a full engine repair, would a $4,000 repair bill leave you stranded? I'm Danica Patrick. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Choose the company I trust. Endurance. No matter the mileage, if your vehicle is less than 20 years old, Endurance offers comprehensive auto protection plans for any budget. Protection on the drivetrain, electrical, transmission, AC, and more. Plus, benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance and rental car reimbursement on any plan. Endurance handles everything from making the claim through the repair process to paying the certified mechanic of your choice. Don't get caught off guard with a vehicle breakdown. Act now and get 1 full year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free.
Visit EnduranceWarranty.com for your fast free quote today. That's EnduranceWarranty.com.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back. With nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome everybody to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast for women over 50. I'm Eden. Christine is here, of course, and it's so funny because we picked out a topic a while back and we kept putting it off, and this is the day we're doing it. And I literally had a conversation with some people today at work, and the phrase that is the topic came up, and it was basically, gosh, if I were young now, meaning in this, if I were dropped into like the year we're in right now, living the kind of life young people are living right now, I'd crush it, basically was kind of, and why, so that came up today. And so that really inspired me to be excited to get home and start recording with you about this topic that you came up with. But before we get to that, just a couple of things we want to go over. First of all, you're going to start giving us a little nugget every single episode, something organizational. And I'm glad of that because I know a lot of you guys that are listening love to come away with a little homework. So whether it's something that you just need to learn and remember or something you want to implement immediately, at the end of every episode, you will get a little tidbit from Christine Stone, nationally acclaimed professional organizer.
I love when you say that. You make me feel so good.
It's so true, though. I mean, it's a true thing. So I want to talk, though, first of all, every now and again, we talk about our husbands and things that we say that they just are like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And last time we talked, I think it was this past time or the time before when teen idol Bobby Sherman passed away. And I told you my husband was like, who now? So what is the thing that's going on in your family's life that your husband, Mitch, just did not understand?
I am throwing my daughter a baby sprinkle, not a shower, a sprinkle. No, it's different.
It's different. So can you explain for those who don't know how it is different?
When you're having your second baby, I think don't quote me on this because I'm not the pro on this, but I think it's if you're having a different gender. That means you need different clothes, different things. So my daughter is having a girl. She had a boy first. And so she is having a sprinkle, and I am having the sprinkle. And my husband said, "What the hell is a sprinkle?"
And it's basically this. You don't need all the main things. You still have a lot of the items, unless your mom's a
Yes.
professional organizer and made you give them away. But the ones
No,
that you
she
have,
still has them.
so you don't need everything. You're not starting fresh, but you definitely need some things. And I think I've also
Yes.
heard about this if you are having the same gender too, because you don't want everything to be a hand-me-down. It's nice to have something new.
Right.
So that
And
sounds fun. So
sometimes you have to get like new stuff when it came to nursing or bottles or, things that, that kind of thing. But
yeah.
it's supposed to be more like a brunch or a lunch or we're actually doing something very different. We're doing a dinner.
Oh,
And it's small, it's 12 to 13 people. And it's mainly her friends.
mhm.
It's just a nice way to celebrate the mom to be. That's all.
I think that's lovely. There's not that, it always sounds so gauche to say that a shower is about the gifts, but partially it's about that feeling that you get when you're sending someone away with what they need. A sprinkle is really, it seems to me like more of a celebration, more of a,
Yes.
there will be gifts, but it's not really about making sure that she's not going to go without. It's just about making sure that she
Right.
feels the love the second time around.
Right.
So
Yes.
fantastic. Good.
Yeah.
And
but
what's
my
going to
hus-
happen? Steve listens to our podcast, so he's going to come home and have Mitch's back. I don't know what that is either. I've never heard of such a thing.
Yep.
So I'm sure there are
Yep.
many men and
I
lots
think
of ladies
it's a
too. who
new
don't-
thing.
Yeah.
New thing.
Yeah, we definitely didn't have sprinkles when I had my second child.
No.
That was not. We didn't have a lot of things, which brings us to our
Yes,
topic.
we
If
didn't.
we were young. And the reason we came up with this was we were talking about social media and all the things that there are now. And we think about the energy we had when we were young and the hustle you had to put in to get things done. And we're like, man, if we were young now, just think about how we would be crushing it. I thought the other day I saw an outfit and I'm like, man, if I was younger Eden, I would totally want to wear that outfit. But I wouldn't now, even though some people say wear it if you're comfortable. Point being, I'm not. I'm just not comfortable.
Right. 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 And I think I'm going to give you like my top 3 to 4 categories on if only.
Okay.
One would be makeup. I think I love all the beauty and makeup and skincare that's going on now, but, and it's not that I don't use some of it, but
Mhm.
my skin's different. My skin isn't 25, 35, 45-year-old skin. So you're not going to copy what they do because you're at a different age. But I have a very big fascination with makeup, skincare, hair care, that kind of stuff. And I think, as you said, I would have crushed it back in like if I were younger. Now I'm too tired, as we talk about all the time. I'm just too tired. And then the other thing would be fashion, like you just said.
Yeah.
I definitely think I would have been really a big fashionista. I mean, like I would have been really into the whole fashionista, social media, this is my latest, haul, but I'm too tired.
Well, part of this is, and because we're, this isn't a rule kind of group we're in. I mean, it's not about like, well, the rule is it can't have to do with like the signs of the times. It has to just do with the age, but that's, there are no rules. So what I would say is also the fact that thrift stores are so like, I like to go thrift store shopping, but I'm not that person that's going to show up and wearing something outrageous and be like, it's thrifted. It's got kind of still got to look pretty new, pretty whatever. And I think when I were younger, maybe a little bolder in what I would wear, I think I would really have gotten into that. We just didn't really have that kind of thrifting going on back in the day. Like you did, but I just wasn't really a part of it because I didn't really know about it because of social media not being a thing. Like if you, there are a lot of things that are out there that exist that people just didn't know about because our world was so much smaller.
Yep.
Yep.
I agree. don't you think that's why there's a lot of the if only I was younger
Mhm.
type thing going on?
Yeah.
Because you really try not to have FOMO, or you try not to do that. And you really do try not to. I do. I'm going to
Mhm.
speak for myself. But it's hard. It's really, really hard. Because even women in their 50s and 60s, even 70s and 80s, are still on social media doing fashion hauls and all that. It's not that I couldn't do it if I wanted to, but I just feel like when you're younger, you can juggle a million different things. I mean, I
Mhm.
just am focused on our podcast and my job, but when I was younger, don't you think you could have juggled like 7 different things and been good at
Yes.
all of them?
And I feel too that I and the social media piece of it is interesting because I I don't think about social media in the moment. And I think that's a good thing. I wouldn't trade that.
Mhm.
But the way when I'm looking through the stories feature of social media and people are using it the way it's intended, which is meant to be more like a behind the scenes, what's going on
Mhm.
versus like the presentation, which is the in your feed. I just in the moment don't have that desire or energy or actually memory to remember that it should be done to do it. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, I'm walking in right now. And then I'm inside right now. And that's what people do on social media when they're young.
Well, and like what you just said, people always say to me, "Oh, you should have videotaped that. You should have like record." And I'm talking for my work, for my
Right.
job.
Sure.
And I don't even think about it. Like, first of all, I think at my age, which I say this all the time, I don't think people would think I was interesting enough, because at my age, we don't think that way. But
Right.
people will say to me, "Oh, no, it's very interesting." I'm like, to who? I think we just have a different mindset because we didn't grow up with social media, and we are more private. I'm more private. I don't like sharing. I'll see younger people sharing, crying, every little detail of their life, and it kind of makes me sad for them. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
It did it for me too. And here's another if I were young now. If I were young now, half of more than half of the things that I ever shed a tear over, I wouldn't lose one iota of sleep over because this too shall pass. But also, I
Mhm.
wouldn't assume that everything is a chronic situation. We've had a whole episode about this. Not everything is traced back
Yeah.
to like trauma. Sometimes it's just a crappy day. And
Yep.
I think I would be really much better at it now than I was then. And also now than the kids today are. Like, let's pretend like we just went through some kind of door and the next thing you know, and I've never asked you this, but did you watch the TV show Younger with
No.
Sutton Foster? Okay. I feel
No.
like you should watch that. But it's a sitcom. Well, not a sitcom, but it's a comedy episodic show where she basically passes for being in her 20s, even though she's in her 40s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she's basically hanging out and working with the younger people, but she's older. She's even got a kid that age. So I think about that kind of situation and in some ways she's very lost and in other ways she's just so much further ahead of the game over what these people are worrying about. So that's a good show. I'm kind of jealous that you've never watched it because
No.
you've got it ahead of you. You'll like it.
Oh, well, I'm always adding to my list because right now there's nothing good to
Nothing
watch
good.
on any of. I pay for about 7 of them, and I tell you all the time I can't find anything to watch.
Okay. Well, that's a
Yeah,
good
I
one for
mean,
you.
I also think technology. I feel like if I was younger, I would have been really able to learn it better and want to learn it better
Mhm.
and be good at it. Now I just don't have the bandwidth to learn it. And you're good at that. You're like a sponge. You like to I just feel like my brain has so much capacity like a computer, and I just learning social media or technology is not at the top of my list. I think I get younger people to help and do that. So that's another thing that I always say, God, if only I was younger, I think I really would have been good at that. I think I
Mhm.
could have really, I think I could have been like in social media marketing. Like, don't you ever think like what
Yes.
your job would be if only
Yes.
you were
I
younger?
And also, people are sometimes I'll have, and by the way, about the social media thing, about there is something to be said for it being like second nature. I mean, think about some of the things that we learn to do, like writing cursive or typing, that,
Hmm.
if you ask somebody younger to do it, it might not flow as easily. I feel like that's the same way it is with posting things. I watch my daughter's
Hmm.
thumbs flying all over that phone, and I'm
Right.
like, why is it taking me so long to do what she can do in seconds? But
Right. Right.
but the thing is that you you almost discount all the years of preparation that brought them to this moment. I mean, they've been doing this since they were born, literally. If they are at Gen Alpha, then they've always had cell phones. They've always posted things. Someone told me the other day that it would be really good and that people really enjoy watching uh, come be on my day with me or get ready with me videos
Yeah,
where
that they've told
our
me that too.
spend the whole day with me,
Yeah.
and then you just do place to place to place, and I'm like,
Yeah.
really, people like that? Because unless you are on Broadway or you have a
Or
job
you're
as
a
like something,
supermodel.
right, I
You
don't
know what I
really
mean?
what.
That's what I mean. People always say, "Oh, you should do this." The people want to see it. I'm like, they want to see me put hot rollers in my hair. They
I
want to
kind
see
of
me
do, but only because I
really.
want to see your hair, not as part of your entire day.
Well, but I mean, like you want to see me load the dishwasher or take the garbage
Right,
out or feed the
exactly.
dog. I mean, I
Right.
don't get it. I don't. But I think if I was younger, I maybe could get it. I maybe could get into it at least. But now I'm
Right.
like, that's kind of boring. I don't know. There's so many, and it's not regret. I want to just say, if only is not regret. Regret is totally, totally, totally different.
Regret is like saying, I wish I never stopped learning how
Right.
to blank because think how good at it I'd be right now. I mean, and
Right.
that's okay too.
Or I wish I would have spent time with somebody.
That's
Or,
deep regret. That's real regret.
well, that's what I mean. Like, I think regret's different than the if only I was younger, because I think if only I was younger, you're talking about energy, you're
Hmm.
talking about your brain capacity, you're talking about um, your bedtime. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, I was talking to some people were younger that were going out somewhere, and it sounded really fun, like a fun night out. And I thought, if only I were younger, I'd go. But y'all don't leave the house until 10. It's that kind of thing. If only I
Well,
were younger.
I thought of you when I called and for an appointment, and they now are offering like weekends and nights. I guess so many people need appointments, they decided to switch
Is
schedules.
this for what? For hair or for a
Uh,
doctor?
for a doctor,
For a doctor.
but
Okay.
for like I had to get just a routine MRI thing that I do
Mhm.
every year. Anyway, he goes, "Okay, I found one. It's soon." And I said, "Okay, when?" He goes, 9:30. I go, "In the morning, that's perfect." He goes, "No, no, no, 9:30 at night." I
What?
said, I said, "You're so sweet, but let me tell you, I go to bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock. That's past my bedtime." And he started laughing, but I'm like, who goes to the doctor at 9:30 at
Well,
night?
if it's an MRI, ask them if you can stay there until morning. I'll
Right. Can I
come
just
in.
sleep there?
I'll come in. Can you give me the colonoscopy medicine and I'll just have my
Right, right. And I'll
MRI and
sleep there. Right.
right.
No, I said, no, I can't come and do something at 9:30 at night. That's just not going to happen.
Oh
So
my gosh, I can't
anyway,
even imagine.
that's what I mean. Like things are just so different now. I would have never thought in a million years that would
Mhm.
have ever been something that people do now. But anyway, so that's why I just wanted to separate regret from if only I was young again. And I don't think,
Important
yeah,
separation. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
definitely.
So,
So, what else though? If it's just funny to me. Like if I were young now, and I think I would really decide which of my friends really deserved most of my focus, because I think that when you're really young, you try to spend time with everybody. And
Right.
then when you get to our age, you realize that there are some core people that are still in the picture, but not all of them. So
Right.
I think I would try to differentiate those people early on, try to make that selection process a little bit sooner than later, so that, there's not quality time that was wasted with people who end up not even really being true friends.
That's very true. Very true.
To be honest, I used to feel a little confused about women's health, especially when it came to hormones. We would all hear about how important they are, but I never really fully got it till I got it. And then I learned for women, keeping hormones in a normal range is key for everything: energy, mood, even weight management. And that's when we heard about Hormone Harmony from Happy Mammoth. It's a plant-based formula created by a leading German nutrition scientist, and it combines 12 carefully chosen adaptogens. We love that it's free from GMOs and artificial fillers, just science-backed ingredients in every capsule. We love what you guys are saying, that since using Hormone Harmony, you feel more like yourself. Happy Mammoth has helped over 2.4 million women worldwide. The reviews are incredible. Over 50,000 women are talking about improved mood, better sleep, and feeling balanced again. If you want to try it, this is the perfect time. Get 15% off your first order of Hormone Harmony at happymammoth.com with the code UUPodcast. Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Can you imagine waiting 10 years to get screened for cancer? On average, people with mental health issues experience a 10-year delay between symptoms and seeking help, and close to 2/3 of mental illnesses go untreated. Hearts for Minds promotes healthy lives by promoting mental health education, facilitating early identification, and connecting people to treatment. Are you ready to learn more? Go to heartsforminds.org. That's hearts, the number 4, minds.org for more information and to learn how you can help.
Though I was always, my whole entire life, a bit of a homebody, and I always had just core groups of friends. I never was the one that was, the partier, the one that wanted to go out and not, be liked by everybody. I always was the one, if you were in my core group of friends, that meant something because you were special. You know what I mean? So those are types of things. Like I almost I don't have regret about the whole, like, I'm glad we didn't have social media. I'm glad I liked raising my kids without social media. You know what I mean? So I never go, oh, I wish we had social media. Never, like ever, never.
You never hear anyone say, I wish. The only thing I do wish is that I had more photos from the ages of between 17 through after college. I wish I had some more photos than I do. Not living online for everyone to see. I just wish I had more photos, but it used to be kind of a big deal, especially when you were in college to get, with, especially I remember this is so funny, but where I went at University of Florida, and I'm sure your husband will remember this too, but the company that used to come to all the Greek events was called Flash. And so you'd be at an event, and when you'd see the guy walk by with the camera, you would yell Flash, so they would know to come over to you to take your picture. And then later you could look at the proofs. They would come to your sorority or fraternity house if you were in that system, and you would buy them for $1 something a picture. But that was always a thing at parties where you'd be out, or you'd be drinking, having a good time. You see out of the corner of your eye, and you'd get together and yell Flash instead of somebody just taking out their phone and taking a picture. So if I were young now, I would save a fortune on buying photos that I no longer can find. So there's that.
We had Pickwick. So I went to school at TCU, and we had Pickwick, and I have so many photos. And of course, I know where mine are. So yeah, no, I don't miss. I wouldn't have liked social media.
But what about knowing where your friends were, though? What about being young and being able to access people?
Horrible idea. Horrible idea. Horrible idea.
I mean, what about that? I used to go to the roller skating rink, in school, middle and high school, and just before we could drive, but just knowing like who was going to be there and people checking
Yeah,
in.
but I think this location thing is the worst thing ever. Because even these young kids, when they break up with a boyfriend or whatever, they're still following each other. I mean, that's almost like stalkerish to me.
It's
I mean,
stalkerish. It's also so much more heartbreak than is necessary.
yeah. So I think for me it's more of like a career thing, learning things, fashion, makeup, skincare, how I would have taken care of my skin. And that's not a regret. That's like if only I were younger and had the knowledge that we have right now, I think I would have, definitely done things differently. And I think with social media, we keep going back to it, but I think people do take care of themselves more because everybody's in photos and online, and it's different. And you learn things from other people that you, like you said, you would have never, ever, ever learned, ever known or learned.
Yeah. And this goes, and this is a part of that whole like technology and what's available now. But think about how much more you know about, like, for example, your crushes, the people that, going way back to when you would have a crush on a teen idol or something. Think about how much more we know about them instead of what was a bio that was written for them. I mean, we found out that Andy Gibb was married with a daughter only very recently because Tiger Beat magazine didn't want us to know that.
Right.
And
Exactly.
we wouldn't buy the magazines because he was married.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I mean, these are things that in this day and age,
You know
that wouldn't
everything
fly.
now. Everything. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
just, it's just, I think that if sometimes when I look at my daughter, and you've got two, and when I see my daughter and my son and the way relationships work and how they can text each other and what have you, I just think we dodged a bullet there. I just, the having to know where each other is at all times, because then you have to ask yourself, how serious and how complex is the relationship I'm in? If now that I can know where someone is every hour of the day, are we at that point yet where we should know where each other is at every point of the day? Before, it was like you never had to worry about those kinds of things because it wasn't possible to do it.
Well, people can't move on anymore. That's the problem.
Yes.
They can't
It's
move
hard to
on
move on.
anymore. I mean, in high school, you'd break up with someone, that'd be the end of it. And you'd go through your life and probably, unless you went to a high school reunion, you never see them again. Now, you know everything about them. And you're like, I really don't care to know everything about them, but somehow I do.
What was the biggest surprise at one of your high school reunions? Have you, or even on Facebook, like going back to high school, like that somebody achieved, or, it's always like in all the movies. And
Well,
on
we
the
had
TV.
Jeff Bezos in our high school, so I think that's about it. I mean,
so he
you know what I
wins.
mean. I think that's a hands down winner. I mean,
think so
he went to
too.
our high school, but I all my reunions, I always thought the women looked a lot better
Yeah.
than men, but that's kind of normal because women take care of themselves
Yeah,
more.
absolutely.
Men just age gracefully, and that's the end of that.
But
You
then
know what I mean?
one of our podcasts, you said a while back, and I think this is correct. First, the women look better and the men, and then the next time around, the men start looking a little better because then now they're like silver foxes. Some of them, the ones that do
Yeah.
bother,
Yeah.
really stand out. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
really stand out.
Yeah, like they work out or whatever. And
Mhm.
even the women, some women don't want to color their hair anymore. They don't want to do anything. They just want to age gracefully or naturally, and they look great. It's just they don't look like everybody looked different with each reunion. And I'm sure they felt that way about me too. I think that I just like to go out of and my reunions are always in Miami, which is fun. So it's,
That's a fun place to be.
Yeah, it's a fun place to be.
So, as long as we're on the subject of social media, and this just happened I literally just saw this today. You probably saw it a little sooner than I did because you're on that a lot. But this story about the Coldplay concert. And if you missed it, there was a Coldplay concert, and the lead singer of Coldplay, Chris Martin, they had a kiss cam. And so it's going around the arena and we're seeing all these couples kissing. And then we see this couple that's in a box, like in a suite. and he's got her from behind and he's giving her a big old bear hug from behind, and they're enjoying it until they realize they're on the kiss cam. And then she dives one way, he dives the other way.
He dives for the floor.
Straight down
Like,
to the floor.
It's straight down.
Chris Martin says, wow, either you guys are having an affair or you're really shy. Well, that went viral. Wouldn't have done anything if they hadn't been diving. Now we find out he's the married dad of 2. She's in a committed relationship.
I didn't know the end part, though.
Well, this is the latest. I mean, we could hear it
Okay.
differently. She is the HR director at the company that he runs. So there's
Yikes.
there's like a whole lot coming out of this. But the comments on all of these videos that I'm seeing are what's really, really funny. Like, people are saying, oh, he was giving her the Heimlich and then he dove to the ground to find whatever she spit out when he, there was just all these
That's a good
different,
one, though.
there were all
That's
these
a
different
good
people
one.
trying to have his back. Mostly people were like, oh, this is the photo that you send back the next time the HR department sends you a disciplinary letter, because she's the HR
Oh my God,
person.
that's so
In fact,
funny.
her title is Chief People's Officer or something like that.
Chief People's Officer.
And she's pretty new to the company. So it was,
Oh my God.
it's quite the
Yeah.
scandal.
Here's the
scandal.
thing. Now that there is social media, if you cheat and don't think you're going to get caught, I don't know what to say about that other than really. I mean,
Well, plus they were in a box full of people and you could see the other people were turning red. So that means everybody with them was in on this. So I don't know
Which-
100%
yeah.
what was really going on, if they were cheating or what was going on. But I mean, he's married to someone else. But you're right. I mean, also,
I'm
that kiss
sorry. He
cam
has his arms around her. I think
from behind.
yeah,
from
no, I'm not.
behind.
I'll tell you, I don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. But
Exactly.
okay.
But
Mhm.
the dreaded kiss cam. You know what other cams I like? I like the ones, did you ever see those cameras that they have at sports games? I've seen a few videos of this where they go around and they pick people out of the crowd and say who they look like, what celebrities they look
Yes,
like.
yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
Yes,
That is so
I love
funny.
that too.
I wonder if I ever was on one of those, what celebrity they would put me with or who they'd put you with. Do people ever tell you you look like
Yeah,
any celebrity?
a long time. Now, this was a long time ago. People always used to tell me I looked like Gina Gershon.
Oh,
don't
I
know
see
if you know
it.
who-
Sure, she's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
but it was a long time ago. It was like, I would say 10, 15 years ago.
She kind of
Um,
has that Cindy Crawford look too, doesn't she? Kind of look a little too like I can see this.
Yeah. Well, my hair was different way
Mhm.
back then. And of course, I was, 15 years younger. But yes, people used to tell me all the time that I look like her. I didn't really see it, if you want to know the truth, other than that I had dark hair and it was longer, but
Mhm.
I'll take it. She's a beauty.
Why not? My dad once thought Kira Sedgwick for me.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I
mar-
could see that. I
I mean,
could
I
see
think
that
it was more a
too.
hair thing, but-
Yeah. But I could definitely see that.
Yeah. We'll have to ask everybody on our Ladies Only Facebook page what celebrity they've been compared to and have them post a picture. Why don't we do that? That would be fun. I like,
Yeah.
a lot of times when I'll meet somebody, I won't say if they look like a celebrity. I would never say like, oh, you look like so-and-so. I'll say,
Yeah.
do people tell you look like a certain celebrity? And if so, who? And it's always fun to see if they say who I'm thinking they're going to say. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's
I
just
agree.
so much of a dead ringer. And in other cases, it's like other people are like, I don't see that. How do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It just
Exactly.
goes to show you that we all see each other and ourselves differently, just a little bit differently than everyone
Yep.
else.
I agree with that.
Well, this brings us towards the close of this episode. So let's get to that random nugget, that tip
Okay.
that we're going to, like I said, we're going to start every week sharing a little something, even if it's just enough to give you a project until we meet again. So what do you have for us?
Well, I love that you said project, because the past 3 to 4 weeks, for all my clients that I have been organizing, the one thing we have focused on at every house is keeping your countertops free of stuff and clutter and junk, and really just grab a garbage can and just take like your kitchen counters. It'll take you 15 minutes,
Mhm.
and put away things that don't belong in the kitchen, get rid of stuff that you don't need anymore, and notice before you start, I always tell people this. Notice how you feel when you walk in with cluttered kitchen countertops. Then notice after you clean them off, totally clean them off. I mean, I'm talking get a paper towel, wet it, wipe it down, everything, okay? Walk out, walk back in, and see the dramatic difference on how you feel.
Love it. That's a great one, because when you recognize the way that feels, it might prevent you from starting the cycle again.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when
And
you-
also, the things people have on their countertops, they don't even belong in the kitchen, half of them. I mean,
Half of 'em.
a lot of it is just stuff that landed there. So,
Correct.
Yeah.
In my house, just like everyone else's house, once one thing is there that isn't supposed to be there, 10 things are there that aren't supposed to be there. It's just human nature.
well, and people always say, well, what about my husband or my boyfriend or whatever it is? Get a basket, put their stuff directly in the basket. And while they're watching a football game or a movie, say, here's your basket, let them go through it. If you are the one who is more of an organized person or who doesn't like clutter, that's the only way, because you can't berate someone into being organized. You can't force someone into being organized. You just have to figure out what's the best solution to make it happen.
There were a bunch of little nuts and bolts and wrenches and this and that and the other that you and I came across in my junk drawer when we were doing my kitchen, and I put them in a baggie, even though you said, get rid of them, just get rid of them. And I said, well, I'm going to do a baggie this big, put them in there. And then if he ever asks for it, or at some point I'll have him
Which
go
he
through it.
won't. Yeah.
Well, it was a piece of furniture that we decided we were going to repurpose. So we had to clean it out, and he found the baggie, and he starts going through that baggie and he's pulling out things. I'm like, you're never going to use it. You're never going to use it. But if he hadn't found that baggie, I should have thrown it out like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, to
Yes.
replace the little things in that baggie would be $1. There's
Yeah.
no way that anything in that baggie costs more than $1. So
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it.
It's been a running theme, I think, for the past few weeks. And whenever it's a running theme, I like to talk about it because that makes you feel like you're not alone. I mean,
Mhm.
people feel so alone sometimes in their clutter. You're not alone. Not alone at
not.
all. No.
Well, thank you. That was an excellent little nugget. And I
Thank
can't
you.
wait until the next one, which will be, of course, during our next episode. So we mentioned a moment ago about our Ladies Only Facebook group. That's the really good way to connect with not just us, but other ladies that are in our circle. We ask some fun questions sometimes, and people post if they have a concern, and it's just really nice. You do have to be let into that. So go to Facebook, and in the search bar, put Uncluttered and Unfiltered Ladies Only, and it will send us a request and we'll let you in. And then the other social medias, they're just like everything else. You just follow. Yes, we would love for you to do all of the things like leave us reviews and stars, because it helps other women find us. But
Yeah.
the best way for them to find us is for you to tell them about us. So we appreciate it when you do that. Thanks, everyone. And let's think, how can we close this episode in such a way? I guess it has to be with, looking back and trying to imagine what it would be like to be young again. Well, it's not going to happen. So you may as well just let it go.
And don't look back.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.